Obiano we na kwadi na naketa. Okay, for this video, we'll chant to go for ma. We'll chant to go for ma. Ke male ba you know in this country. This is what I always say in this country. Johanuko konsege in this country and why no kuno ma the kind of level and ayana hana making and the way they think. Because onye malo onye bo onye ilia o maloko isu emegine Elia, and now you begin to connect the dots together. Kimana aka no waiji no na ani buy. I na ndo ya no nkwa. I know denda ayaya no nkwa. Ndi buy na asini no se na ola tobo uto ekobe and then in this video.
All right, today I want to take my time to talk about religious extremism in northern Nigeria. I want the whole world to listen to this, and everybody should listen to this. Right? To start with, do you remember the story of Deborah that was spied in Sokoto? I want to bring to your notice that when she was spied and when some people were brought as suspects, 34 lawyers from northern Nigeria, headed by a professor in Usman Danfodio University, actually came in defense of the suspects. And at the end of the day, what happened? The suspects were actually charged with, incitement of public disturbance and conspiracy. And later they were released. And after that, nothing happened. All right? So, I equally want to bring to your notice that after that, a lot of other ones have happened. Some that even never made the news. Do you remember the history of this boy? I think this boy, he's a Muslim, he converted to Christianity, or he left the religion generally, but at a point in time. But what I'm trying to say is, first of all, a bounty was placed on his head. A lot of northern content creators actually publicized the placement of the bounty. But later he was unalived in Lagos. He never made the news, he was unalive. But a sheikh came out to celebrate his spying. A popular northern content creator in Northeast, to be specific, Umar Weda, came out to celebrate his unaliving. Do you get it? Came out to celebrate his unaliving. And that is what should be done. After making several videos in regards why this boy should be pied. Do you get it? They came out to celebrate. And, okay, before we go more, I have a video to play to you in regards the take of a minister. That's, is it Musawa or what is that, her name? That came out to speak in regards the next election. In regards the replacement of Shetima with any other person, or as the case may be. And this is what she has to say. Let's listen.
If APC toys with the idea of changing Shetima on the ticket, APC, it might be risky.
I think so. I think so. I really do. I think if we toy with changing the construct of what we have now is a problem. If there's no northern, and I'm going to say it as it is, if there's no House of Fulani Kanuri Muslim on that ticket, it just creates, it's a hurdle. And that's the reality of the way that people think.
Well, actually, I'm not against what she has said. It's a bold statement, actually. I must commend her for that. But that is the reality on ground, right? That is the reality on ground. But if I must add a little bit to this, the fact is there are some little dynamics that have changed in regards to this. The fact is, even the Tinubu at the moment is not actually considered as a true Muslim according to fanatics. They see him more or less like an infidel, right? They see him more or less like an infidel. So whatever he does at the moment, is not actually going to guarantee. It's just going to make, just like you have stated, is going to make the victory or his winning much more harder. but that doesn't mean that he will not win with the present situation on ground. Right? And apart from that, apart from the issue of him winning the presidency or whatever, the fact is there's a new dynamic that has been added to this, which is the fact that I think the minority are gradually coming up to speak more. And apart from that, there's a third force that has always been a major determinant of winning election. And at this point in time, the third force is actually interested. And looking at the body language of Tinubu, he seems confused at the moment because he wants to actually play according to the dictates of the third force, and at the same time, he wants to win the heart and the interest of the people that he believes will bring him to power. But in the midst of all these things, what am I trying to say? What I'm trying to say is, looking at all these variables now, when the minority, if the minority in the north are not even fully welcomed and accommodated, it has to be Hausa, Fulani, and Kanuri. Forget about the Kanuri you have even added, but you are very specific Muslim, right? So if they are not even all welcomed and accommodated, what is now the fate of somebody that is not even a northerner? Do you see the division there? But funny enough, when you talk about this reality now, that Nigeria is divided across board and there is no way forward in this regards, you are actually considered as a divisive element, that you have been paid, you have been sponsored to do these things. And apart from that, they say you are not a true northerner. You are a munafiki, just like other people call me. They say I'm a munafiki, right? But this is the truth. And if you ask me, in the midst of all these things now, what does Simon K want? All Simon K wants is a society where everybody, irrespective of religion, tribe, and other social norms, is actually accommodated and welcomed. Just like what we see in other developed nations and why we are running there. That is what I want. My intention is not to cause harm by virtue of your religion or your tribe or whatever, even if it's monkey that you believe in as your God. As long as your social vices doesn't interrupt with my freedom, it's fine. And there will never be a point in time I will try to impose my own concept on you. And the fact is, I strongly believe in the supremacy of the law and nothing more. But what do you do when you have people that don't actually believe in neither of this? And they are actually expecting you to live according to the dictates of their ideology. And that is why when people come out to say now that we are not northerners, we are middle belterners, they say it's a lie. They are the top campaigners. The fanatics are the top campaigners. And when the Biafrans come and say now that this country is not for us, it's for the fanatics, they are the top campaigners in regards these people are fifth columnists and they are trying to divide the nation. But staying this way now, all they are trying to do is to ensure a situation where they marginalize everybody and subject everybody to this their animalistic point of view. Well, I think the world is gradually changing, and I'm sure it's just a matter of time. And if there's anything I have to tell, I want the international community to pay attention to this as well. So when people are trying to downplay the existence of religious extremism and Nigeria gradually becoming the hub and the headquarters of religious extremism, show them this and tell them that in the history of Nigeria, there has been unaliving on the basis of religious extremism, and there has never been any one conviction. And in regards this extremism, that it only stems from only the north that used to be wonderful and good, but now is so full of evil. and it will be a disaster for any right-thinking man to sit down and think that we are still one and there's still light at the end of the tunnel with this incompetent government and the growing of these radicals that are bent on ensuring that everybody must do things according to their dictates.